Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to one of your most important and influencing topics in all of your programming careers. And in this section, as well as if you decide to study more advanced topics, pointers is something that will definitely accompany you, because it's actually the basis and the core for so many things in programming, as well as that's something that you're probably going to be asked on your C programming interview questions. So make sure you watch this topic from start till the end and practice that in the best possible way you can. So let's go. I want us to make a quick reminder of the swap code we've used in one of our previous sections. We simply wanted to take two variables and to swap between their values in the main function, right? So that was something like this. We created our main function, we initialized two variables, int a equals to 5, b equals to 7, and then to implement the swap operation we just created another variable called temp. We assign to temp a equals to b equals to temp, basically all the swap functionality we implemented in the main function. It just looked like this. And now, since we already know how functions can be used and what for they are being used, we would like to take this piece of code from the main function and put it inside some unique function and call this function just a swap, okay? Just to extract it out from the main function, because we already know how functions work. We know that this swap functionality between two variables may be used more than just once, right? Its usage may be required in many places in our program, so that's why we would like to take these lines of code responsible for swapping and put them inside a separate function, so that now we will have all the responsibilities and all the code for the swap between two numbers in just one place and not scattered in many places in the main function. And also it will give us the ability to call this function whenever we would like to make some swap operation, okay? So let's see how the code looks like in our C programming example. And basically we see that we have a function of a void type. The name of the function is swap. It has two values that it gets, int num1, int num2. So whenever we will call this function, we will give it two values. One value will be assigned to num1, and one value, the second value, will be assigned to num2. Then what we are going to do is to create a temp variable that will assist us with the swapping operation. And we will print out num1 before the swap and num2 before the swap, make the swap operation, the swap functionality, and then print the values of num1 and num2 once again, just to make sure that the swap works as expected. So if we are to run this code right now, we will see on the console application that num1 before swap equals to 5 and num2 equals to 7, right, as expected, because we initialized it in the main function. And also we will see that after the swap, we have num1 equals to 7 and num2 equals to 5. Everything works as expected. So we have the swap function, the swap room, that whenever we call this function, it will receive two values and print them before the actual swap and after. And this function will print this information, and that's kind of a downside. It will print this information every time we are going to call this function. These four lines of the values before and after will be printed. And that's basically maybe something that we don't want. Maybe we want the swap function just to swap between the values without printing them, and to leave maybe the printing to another function and so on. So we can say that sometimes we may want it and sometimes we may not want these two lines. So let's just stick around with the swap functionality for now, okay? And let's see what will happen if we use these print lines in the function before and after calling the swap function. Okay, we will see it right away, but basically we expect that the same result will be seen on the screen, that once the swap function is over, then the variables in the main function will also be swapped and the messages will be seen on the screen. Basically what we want to do is not to put the print lines in the swap function, but rather to keep the printing, for example, in the main function. Okay, and the swap function will be responsible for just swapping. So let's try to do this, and it will look like this. Here is our void swap. It's responsible for swapping between num1 and num2, and there you go, you have the void main function. So basically it prints out the numbers before and after the swap, and here we can see the function call, okay, swap for a and b, and we just pass the values of a and b, and they are getting inside of num1 and num2. And if we run this program right now, okay, you may just copy and run it on your own to see what happens. You will see that nothing really happened. It seems that the variables a and b were not swapped. And that's a very important note that you must understand. So why basically it's happening, guys? Why a and b remain the same even after the call to the swap function? If it's done correctly here, right? It's done basically correctly. Why the result, the printed a and b values, seems to be the same, meaning a equals to 5 before and after the swap, and it shouldn't be like that. It should contain the value of b, which in this case is just 7 after the swap, but it's not what happens, okay? Try to run it on your own just to make sure that you see the problem here. So basically, although for num1 and num2, it seems that they were swapped inside the swap function, okay? So num1 and num2 were swapped because they are local to the swap function, but the actual a and b values, which are in the main function, which are values that we want to swap, were not swapped. That's very interesting, and that's the basis and one of the first and most important notes explaining the reason of why you should consider using pointers, as well as what is passing by value and passing by reference that we are going to talk right now. So I hope that you are ready, and in the next video what we are going to do is that we are going to try and to visualize all of this situation of the swapping and thoroughly understand what happened here and why it seems that things were not working as expected. And also we are going then to describe and to learn why we should consider using loops and when we should use it and how we should use it. So don't worry, this topic is not the easiest one, but we will cover it, I think, pretty good. So I'll see you in the next video.